Hey there, welcome to LSAT Demon Daily. I'm Nathan Fox. That's Ben Olson. We are the co-founders of LSATdemon.com and our weekly podcast, Thinking LSAT. We've got an email here from April.
Hi, Ben and Nathan. I received an email from GW Law announcing their new test optional admissions process under certain conditions. Test optional. So, wait, did the ABA actually remove the LSAT requirement or a standardized test requirement?
Maybe they did.
Huh. Okay. I always thought that it was getting pushed to some committee that was then deciding to decide. But whatever. Maybe they actually did remove the
Maybe they
requirement.
finally pushed that through. Yeah.
Yeah. April continues. Their current rank is 41. As someone who is interested in applying, I can't help but think this may lower their rank in the next few years. Please correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that they are the first law school in the top 50 to offer a test optional application. While I believe this test optional route will only apply to a small number of applicants, how do you think this will affect the 509 reports? Would they only report GPAs? Do you see this negatively affecting the number of scholarships awarded to those applicants? Is this merely another way to attract more applicants, especially those who would pay full price? Or do you believe this could be a step in the right direction for those who aren't the best standardized test takers, but have demonstrated their abilities to succeed in other ways, such as work experience? Wow, you got a lot of questions, April. This is great. Lastly, to what extent do you see other top law schools following? Thank you.
All we have is last year's 509 report. This is the first I've heard of a top 50 school going test optional. I will tell you that on last year's 509 report, they report a total of 12 people out of a total of 1,700 people in the school.
Hmm.
A total of, or maybe this is first year. Okay, so out of the first year class, they admitted, wow, that's a big school. 521 people in their first year class. 12 of them were not included in their LSAT calculations. So as of right now, you're looking at, boy, 2% of the class that got in via a route like this.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that goes up next year. We won't know until we see the 509 for next year. We usually get those 509s right around January, beginning of January. That's when we'll really know what effects this had. I can read you that the requirement to submit a test score is waived for select candidates who have significant experience through either at least 5 years of employment, military service, patent bar passage, PhD programs, or social entrepreneurship.
Why that oddly specific type of entrepreneurship?
In addition, transfer candidates from GW Law's LLM to JD programs may apply on a test optional basis,
Oh,
which
geez.
sounds super scammy to me because it's
Yeah.
like, oh, hey, just buy your way in by doing a wildly overpriced 1-year LLM, and then you might be able to apply to our JD program test optional.
Yeah, and along those lines, I do feel like people who are applying without an LSAT score are signaling, hey, I don't think I can do well on the test, and so I'm going to apply without it. It also means that other schools that aren't as keen on accepting people without a test are not going to be interested. So you're also signaling that you can't get in elsewhere. To me, it does. I think April's right. I think it's a way to get more applicants who are potentially willing to pay full price. They need
Totally.
more at the bottom to support those at the top.
100%. I think that this is an example of the school acting in their best interest to exploit a broken student loan system. And, the truth about GW is that 19% of their students pay full tuition. 81% of the students at GW pay something less than full tuition. I can't wait to hear from the first person to tell me that they applied test optional and got a scholarship. I'll be shocked if it's a significant scholarship. I'll be shocked if anybody ever emails us and tells us that.
Yeah.
Why would they give somebody a scholarship if you're applying without an LSAT score?
Where else are you going to apply? It's
Right.
interesting too because they can get this is another way for them to get a full tuition payer without hurting their LSAT median.
Exactly. Right. So I would see them admitting a small sliver of people, probably people that are going to apply, that are probably people that would have dragged down their LSAT profile. They're going to charge those people full price. Hardly anybody else in the school is going to be paying full price. These people are going to be, paying full freight. One thing that's interesting about GW, I just looked at their median 25th percentile and 75th percentile.
Yeah.
Median 169, 75th percentile 170,
Hmm.
25th percentile 161.
Whoa. Yeah.
So 8 points between their 25th percentile and their 50th percentile. 1 point between their 50th percentile and their 75th percentile.
Hmm.
This is a school that pays a lot of attention to their median. They're admitting people with 170s and 169s. They're giving them scholarships to try to keep the LSAT median up. And then they are dipping down quite low to get people who are willing to pay full price. Same thing, by the way, with their UGPA percentiles: 3.85 median, 3.91 75th percentile, 25th percentile all the way down at 3.54.
Wow.
So 0.41, sorry, 0.31, 0.3 of a point between the 25th percentile and the 50th percentile, 0.06 of a point between the 50th percentile and the 75th percentile. That can only be an artifact of admissions process that is highly sensitive to their medians. They're really looking at the medians. They're trying to game it to keep that median up as high as they possibly can. And they're going to be giving scholarships to the people who are at or above their median while charging full price to the people who are below.
Yeah. And
And they're
listen,
willing to dip down pretty far for the people who are going to pay tuition.
yeah, totally. And listen to this asterisk. Please note that test optional candidates must not have an LSAT score from the past 5 years because they would have to report it. So
Yep.
there's no value in applying without it because the
Yep.
school is going to have to turn around and use it.
Right. So it's also like you can't just choose not to have your LSAT considered.
Yep.
You have to not have an LSAT. You have to not have an eligible LSAT,
Yep.
which means where else are you going to apply? Which means you're signaling to them, hey, go ahead and charge me whatever you want to charge me.
Hmm.
Bad deal for students. I think it's a great deal for GW. They're playing the game.
Yep.
What's this going to do to their rankings? I would say it's going to make their ranking go up.
Yeah, because it allows them to have more money to pay for better applicants.
Right. The people who apply test optional, really bad for you because you're going to get in, you're going to pay too much, you're going to be competing against people who have better LSAT than you. You're going to pay more for less, essentially. But it'll probably be good for the reputation of the school because they will be able to maintain that LSAT and GPA that's so important for their ranking while also keeping the lights on by charging full price for the very few people who are going to get in test optional.
Yep. And surprise, surprise, most moves that a school makes is probably going to be to try to help its ranking and its bottom line.
Thank you, April. Email daily at lsatdemon.com if you'd like to ask us a question or share some LSAT or law school admissions news. Thanks for listening.